Joins us now. Dan, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Great to be here, Steph.
So it's tax day. It's a big day. As I mentioned, people need to file for an extension if they haven't submitted all of their tax stuff yet. With that being said, what's with the backlog from previous years? Because a lot of people still are complaining that they haven't received their credits.
Yeah, so this is all what we'll call a hangover from what happened with the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit and everybody was working from home, including the IRS, they were certainly not prepared for that. On top of it, everything that happened related to COVID stimulus, like the stimulus checks and the PPP program, that all landed in the lap of the IRS, and they simply didn't have the resources. Those stimulus programs were the priority, so everything got backlogged. Well, here we are basically 2 years later, and the IRS, and they have antiquated systems, still trying to catch up. So literally, there are a lot of people, perhaps millions, that are still waiting for their tax returns to be processed.
Yeah. Now, this is a little over my head, and maybe you can explain it to me. So is there a difference in the child tax credit payments? How is that different this year versus previous years?
So with the tax credits that were out there that people are talking about, was the government made a decision that in the first 6 months of 2021, they were going to send people checks and not wait for them to get a credit on their tax return and, in effect, get their money through a refund. So they sent checks to everybody for the first 6 months, and then for the second 6 months, that's where you get a credit. So what happens now when you're filing your tax return, you have to keep in mind that you have already received 6 months worth of payments already. So now the credit that you would be entitled to is only going to be for 6 months.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I clearly don't do my own taxes. Now, I wanted to ask you about this. So Democrats are asking the IRS why tax audits for the poor have doubled. And so, in a sense, they're trying to make it seem like the poor are being targeted. But I have a feeling that's not the case.
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you, why that's happening. The way the IRS goes about auditing people, there's kind of two buckets that they have. You have one bucket that's simply a lottery. You get picked out randomly, shall we say, to be audited. Then there are targeted audits, and those targeted audits are based upon the historical information gathered during audits, meaning what type of people or tax returns are producing the most money when they go out and audit. So those are the people, in terms of a return on investment for the IRS, that they want to focus on. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you would be targeting lower income people specifically to try to get more taxes out of them. So to me, that's a question mark right now.
Interesting. Well, Dan, we're going to have to leave it here. We're out of time. We appreciate you breaking this all down. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks a lot. Coming up next.